We are here to share about future of work, and referring to the document that we got just now, it was on collaboration.
Awesome! She's the brain!
Thanks for joining us today. So to start, we've actually prepared a few pictures for you to take a look at them and try to guess what topic we are going to be discussing today at the Future Talks, okay?
Okay.
Okay, looks really interesting. They're very happy, dancing, right?
Yeah, two happy people partying together. Okay, now this, I know. What is this?
This?
That's the handshake. This is what it is, right?
I think it happens when we meet new customers or prospects. It's like getting a handshake done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what's the next
next
picture. All right, three
No
people
idea.
holding their hands together. That looks like is that some form of teamwork?
Party?
Party?
Yeah, having fun.
No, there's more party here. There are 5 of them here.
A bigger one.
A bigger party.
Okay.
But this tells me probably more complexity.
Bigger party?
All right, let's see.
Friday night party?
So let's try to guess what these 4 pictures are telling us, right?
What could that be?
Is that some form of teamwork?
No, close, but no.
Okay. What else could it be? Is that collaboration?
Yes, you got it.
All right.
All right, we got it. Not too bad.
Hi, I'm Lawrence. I'm from Lark, and I run the SaaS University. You can call me 校长.
Hi, I'm Joey Lim. I'm the VP of Sales for Lark and Asia Pacific. Today we are here to share about the future of work and referring to the pictures that we saw just now, a bit more about collaboration.
Yeah. So for the future of work, I think about the future. What has happened, right, over, it's like the many years. I remember the time where I listened to music, and that was through CDs, and it went on. That tells you my age. That went on to MP3, and right now we have Spotify. How the world is changing, being unpredictable, innovating at such a rapid scale. Yeah.
That's a very interesting point. If you look at the IDC report by 2020, 45% of the workforce in Asia Pacific will be millennials.
Oh, wow.
And that is really what is driving the future of work. And the definitive way of looking at it is actually the workspace, the workforce, and also the work culture.
Yeah.
And to look at the future of work and how collaboration plays a part in that, we actually look across these 4 functions.
That's so pointed. Especially the fact that millennials have a way of thinking and doing things, right? And to get them to start using, it's like office tools that are archaic, that they are uncomfortable with, right? It's going to be a lot of retraining, right? And this is something that they will not be willing to go for.
Definitely. What we do at work today can really influence the future of business and how we actually equip the business to be prepared for the future of work and harness the strength of the people is absolutely important.
I agree.
What do you think about the role of collaboration, since that was what we were looking at from the picture's perspective?
Yeah, I think collaboration has a big part to do with communication, right? So something that allows us to bring our point across as seamlessly and easily as possible. So in order for that to be done, right, I think we have to look at the people that we're working with, right? Nowadays, it is such a global workforce. For example, I deal with my colleagues in Japan, in China. I need to get my point across. And that itself, right, is one big thing about collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, if you speak about that, then I probably want to share an example. I was actually trying to hire for Japan recently, and was talking to many candidates. And I don't speak Japanese myself, and I found a really good candidate. My recruiter was telling me that he's the guy to get. We had a good first conversation over the Lark video conference. Right? So we were able to talk to each other, but I wasn't able to really capture out what was going on in his mind.
Right.
And I flew down to Japan, and we had a conversation face to face. I got a bit more information from him because he started drawing and the actual gestures coming out from him, but it wasn't good enough. And the third round of interview was actually done over the Lark chat. So he shared with me a document, right? Lark has a slide capability. He loaded it into the slide. He walked me through the document, and he has got translation features.
Wow.
And he communicated with me via the chat. And he spoke in, or rather he typed in Japanese, and I read it in English. It was translated real time, and we delivered a lot out from that meeting. And I was able to understand what his view was and what was his go-to market. I had a good experience. Something that I could not have done if I hadn't had Lark to support me in this entire interview process.
Hey, I think that's a great, it's like a story that you share, because it's all about breaking down the barriers, making sure that we get our point across, right? And in this case, right, different languages, right, people who are proficient in the languages could actually get their point across seamlessly and get work done. Nowadays, millennials, when we talk about communication, they're back to the preferred way of working and doing things, right? They are so familiar with the consumer apps, right? The way they deal with social media applications and the way they communicate. So if we think about it, right now, one of the most preferred medium, right, is actually through chats, right? So they do it at a personal basis and also at the office basis as well, right? Chatting is such a convenient and easy way, right, to get things done rather than emails, which may seem to be archaic to them.
Yeah, it points towards the trend on the future of work, right? Just now we mentioned the actual workspace. Workspace is no longer defined by the physical workspace people are in, right? You could be working with people in different locations. You could even be working on the train or down in Jakarta in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
You could be working anywhere. And mobility is what really drives the change, right? As well. And you talk about millennials using chat because that's the fastest way for us to get instantaneous response.
That's true.
You're not going to write an email and say, where do you want to go? And then waiting for the person to reply to you in 3 days' time or a longer time.
That's
right?
true.
If people are looking for instantaneous response to something quick, and you still use email as a formal means of communication. Yeah, so that actually effectively drives a change in the way people work.
Agree.
Also, maybe just to also highlight, right, we talk about work, about 20%, right, of the workforces who are actually involved in knowledge workforce will be working with a co-worker that may not be a human.
So it's like artificial intelligence.
Yes, you'll be working in bots, and it's getting used to it, right? You have actual human colleagues, but you also have interaction with bots. How do you then communicate and ensure that information continue to flow within this group of people?
Yeah, and actually bots do make our lives a lot easier. For example, you may not want to bother a human, right, when it comes to acquiring or understanding certain topics. So you'll go to a bot and then you get the answer the instantaneously, right, without waiting for the other person to reply. And I know that this is something that Lark has as well. So it makes life a lot easier. So we're actually working with robots and with humans at the same time, increasing productivity and efficiency.
Absolutely, absolutely. The last time that I spoke to someone, they were just telling us that collaboration is so important, but there are huge barriers to collaboration.
Huge barriers.
Yes. What do you think are the barriers?
I think it's like the existing chats are such a familiar way of interacting, right? But there is a big issue with security, right? So employees, when they communicate with one another via it's like the IM tools out there, right? If they were to leave the organization, it's like they take everything with them. I think this is a big security issue and a big pain. Why it's like it is not recommended, right, by security, right, to use such devices.
So what I'm hearing is people are trying to communicate, but there are no effective quick means, and they're using their personal applications.
That's correct.
To communicate and sharing important information even via personal chat.
Even like invoices and all. I mean, they shouldn't be done via personal chats, but it's just so easy to do it, and people do it.
Okay, so it actually effectively, there is a need for us to have enterprise kind of messaging systems,
Absolutely.
but yet at the same time keep our personal life separately.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There was this CIO that I spoke to very recently in Singapore, and basically he was sharing that he was doing all his project management conversation on WhatsApp, and there was so much noise in that he stopped looking at it, and he actually missed a very important message from his wife. Right, and how nice it is that if we can balance work and life, but yet exactly have a good demarcation,
Exactly.
and have the right security to actually set it apart.
I agree absolutely. And in this time and age where micro moments are so popular, where you're expected to be always on, it's like how good would it be if we can actually demarcate life in this manner so that we don't miss a thing and that we can always catch up whenever we want to, right, with a seamless mobile experience, right, because Lark is actually created mobile first. Yeah. So
Okay.
would you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so a lot of the software that is in the market was actually created with laptop in mind, right? But Lark was actually recently created, and that was actually put with the mindset of mobile first.
Yes.
So your interface that you get to use on the mobile is actually exactly the same as experience you have on the laptop.
Yep.
So effectively, if you think about that, it's actually Lark is actually supporting the future of work mantra, right? You'll be able to work anywhere, anytime,
Wow.
right? Without the loss of experience, you can't access this or that. So I was just recently in China, and I was using and working on Lark on my mobile.
Wow.
Right? So that's a huge differentiator because you will see that most of the tools in the market you may not be able to use across everywhere.
I agree.
Right, and that is what actually put on the table that
Yeah.
we have, right? But the other thing that I wanted to just share a bit about like barriers to communication or
Right.
collaboration really is people are working on siloed tools, right? Just think about it. Take out your phone and how many apps do you have
So
on your
many.
phone that
You're
you know
right.
before joining this company? Well, how many apps do you actually have interacting on your phone?
I think I must be using, it's like a lot for, work, a lot, it's like social, a lot of apps for music, right? There are just like so many apps that I have to, even like for working, right? Probably 6, 7 or even more. Yeah, to get things done, to communicate well, to get my point across. Yeah, so, and when I joined Lark, right, I realized that I only needed one tool, right? And I refer to emails a lot less.
Okay.
So that's quite amazing because I do not need to think about what are the tools that can get my point right across to my colleague, right? To set appointments, etc. Right? I just needed to be within a single place to get all my job done. Yeah.
That actually reminds me of a very recent experience. There was a night where I was arranging a meeting at night. So I didn't want to turn on my laptop for that purpose. So we agreed on a time and I had to send a calendar
Right.
invite, right? And I was thinking if I was not on Lark and in my previous life, I would have to actually open up a calendar app, right? Input that particular invite,
Yes.
right? And then go to send an email, and then after that, I will have to go to another chat function to go and talk to the customer and say, let's meet at that time. But with Lark, I was able to actually just input the name,
Yeah.
right? Immediately find time that actually suits both our different time zone, right? Create and create a calendar invite from there easily.
Yeah.
And when the actual meeting happens, right, we actually did it over video conference.
Wow.
So we were able to communicate in different locations.
Yep.
And I actually was able to do everything within Lark.
Yeah, and just imagine the number of steps you cut down, right? Without needing to, open up the different applications, without needing to get certain links, right? You can do all of this within the application itself. So I think that is truly brilliant because it saves time, right? And it gets the point across, and it's simple, clear, and direct.
This is an interesting point because in the IDC feasibility study report,
Right.
they actually reported that through the effective collaboration, global businesses reported that there were up to 33 increase in their productivity gains. And also a 21% increase in profits, right? So collaboration is important and getting it right will actually drive very good outcome.
I agree.
In fact, one of the customers that is actually using Lark, a large internet company with about 50,000 employees, have actually found that by using Lark, they actually shave 1.7 hours of their time per
Wow.
employee
That's amazing.
per day.
Imagine the amount of cost saving, and imagine the productivity gain.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just huge.
So, what is the value differentiator of Lark?
I think what, apart from what you just mentioned, which is, it's like everything, doing all the work at one single place, right? It is also the ability to bring in, right, additional bots or mini programs onto the platform that we have. So Lark actually allows us to create workflows, right? And right now we have attendance and we have approval that is very widely used by our customers.
Okay.
But apart from that, right, it truly is up to the creativity of the developers, right? They can create any thing that can improve, the efficiency and the effectiveness, right, of the companies that they're working for, right, in a very seamless manner. So like what has been mentioned previously is no code, low code, right? It makes life a lot easier. You do not have to procure a very heavy software, right, just to do, for example, like approvals. You can do it on Lark itself.
Okay, so basically you said on a native, we have the chat function, the calendar,
Yes.
Document, content management, but you can also extend it via the low-code, no-code
That is
development
correct.
platform.
Yeah. And I think it gives us the flexibility together with the rigor of the platform, right? To truly it's like make work a lot more efficient and effective, and it's like bring joy, right, to all the workers.
That's a nice thing to have when you have joy at workplace, right?
Yeah.
That's always something that we want to look at.
Remember the party?
Yeah, absolutely, like the collaboration party, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think the future of work is here. Right?
It is.
We talk about the future of work, it's really here, right? It's not far away. And the future of work is really about being digital. And employers must enable the teams to be able to work seamlessly anywhere, anytime, right? To give them the right digital environment so that you can actually harness the strength of the people.
Agree.
Collaboration will also boost productivity and efficiency.
Yeah.
Effectively getting the company to actually drive faster
Agree.
towards the goals that we want to get to.
Yes.
There are many tools that actually promise collaboration. But what happened is that most of the tools that we know in the market requires a lot of integration for them to achieve one
That's
thing.
true.
Right? So is that what is that what Lark promised then?
Yeah, so Lark is an all-in-one, so we do not need much integration, right, unless we want to do so, right? So I've seen companies integrating with other, it's like integrating Lark with other big companies, for example, like Confluence, right? That itself is a possibility. Right, otherwise, like what we mentioned earlier, you can extend the platform and create your own programs, right? That makes life a lot easier for it's like the workers. So I think it's like it truly is a best-in-breed all-in-one platform.
Okay. Okay. Well, shall we move on to the Q&A then?
Yeah.
It looks like we have some questions from the audience. Right. The first question. What can companies do to encourage a culture of knowledge and information sharing?
Culture of knowledge and information sharing. This is something very close to my heart. And I think in order for that to happen, there must be open communication and open feedback. Right? Without that, people will be holding on to their knowledge. They will not be able to collaborate, right? And this would end up in a company not able to innovate and drive, it's like progress. So in order for companies to encourage a culture of sharing and knowledge, right, there must be collaboration, and there must be open sharing and feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, and we have the second question over here. What does it take to implement a digital collaboration system in a company?
Well, I guess that was a very good question from the user, right? And we all talk about implementation of collaboration system and digital collaboration system. I think the right thing to know is what does collaboration mean for the particular organization?
Agree.
Is that in the form of being able to communicate and chat at a very quick pace? What kind of information do they want to share? Is it about being able to collaborate off a document, right? And having the ability to comment on the document, fine-tune it together, and work together as a team, right? Or is it in the form of the workflows, right, or approvals as necessary?
Agree.
Once we identify what a collaboration means, right, and actual implementation itself would require both top-down and bottom-up approach, right? You always need the executive to say, yeah, this is going to be the tool that the company can implement, can use for overall communication.
Agree.
But yet, from a bottom-up perspective, if you have more than 5 people talking together, that's when a tool is necessary.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can always go from the perspective, get a good team and make it viral. And then with the right executive sponsorship, I would believe that will be the whole company-wide usage collaboration tool.
Yeah, and we're here to help as well, because we have customer success team, and then we have professional services who can actually help to implement, right, make sure that all this would be done seamlessly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so another question from the audience. What are some key tips for a company who wants to go global?
Well, I guess when we think about going global, we think about the workforce, the location of the workforce, right? We have to take into consideration the language requirements, the culture, the working habits, and with empathy towards that, then how do we ensure information will flow from the headquarters to the subsidiaries or the offices in different locations? And we spoke about this, right?
Yeah.
When people are communicating in their native language, they usually can tap on the best out from them.
Absolutely.
So having a platform or tool like Lark that allows people to be able to type in their native language and being able to translate it back into English, Mandarin, or Japanese, or whatever, is important,
Agree.
right? So that allows the continuous information flow, and information flow comes from both sides of the company.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would like to add on to that?
No, whatever that breaks down barriers to communication allows us to, it's like be ourselves, right, and bring our point across, right, in a seamless manner. Like what you mentioned earlier, I think that is key, right, because different people would have different ways of expressing. We just want them to be their element, to share what they really want to communicate, right, and get the gist of it. Right?
Yes, actually, I was just thinking about this. Is an interesting point. Recently, I was in one of our meetings. We have people who were dialing in from different locations, right? So we have people from the States. We have people from different parts of Asia Pacific as well.
Yeah.
And some of the documents that came out was actually in Mandarin. Right, and then we had that translation feature where people will actually be able to translate it to the local language that they require, and the different teams with different requirements were able to collaborate off that same document. And the meeting was held in 1 hour. We were commenting at the site of the document.
Yes.
I thought that was a true glimpse of how a global company operates, where you really break down the silos and break down the communication barrier.
I agree, and one thing that I took away from the meeting as well was that after that is done, right, all of us were able to view the document in the video, in the Lark video, and then when the document was scrolling up, it was actually scrolling in our language. So there are folks who view it in Mandarin, there are folks who view it in English, right? And once again, we're in our native language, we're comfortable with it, we understand better, right? And knowledge flows in a much more seamless fashion.
Yeah. This question 4 is from the user. What makes Lark different from other similar tools?
Yeah, I just want to highlight 2 points over here. Right, first and foremost is that it is a single platform. Right, on a single platform built on chat, right, we can do all of the functions at work, right, be it chat, be it documents, be it calendaring, right, it is all available, right, without any integration. So first and foremost, I think that really sets us apart, because a lot of these collaboration tools out there, you require integration, right, of the different functions. And these are actually core functions to communications. So we own all of this, right? Now the second part of it is the integration with other tools out there, right? It is an open platform where we allow other tools and other features to be integrated within Lark itself. So we are not just self-contained, we are open. Right, and this is what I love about it, because developers can build anything they want. Right, there are mini programs, there are bots, right, to accelerate the growth of the business.
And may I add on that Lark is actually mobile first, so
That's
that
correct.
allows people to actually have the ability. I mean, mobility has changed the world a lot, right? In the past, we used to be on desktop, and then we move on to laptops.
Yes.
And with mobile phone, the access and the ability for people to actually get connected to internet it's a lot more.
I agree.
Right, and that itself actually opens a window of how much more we can actually harness and tap from people. And that's what makes Lark very different because we're actually mobile first.
Agree.
And also the translation capability and also cross-border collaboration will be key value differentiator for us.
Absolutely. Okay, we have one more question here. Can we handle work processes from end to end just using Lark? And check this out, how mobile friendly is Lark?
That was exactly what we were talking about
That's
just
correct.
now, right? Yeah, so yeah, Lark is mobile friendly. You can actually use Lark across all your different mobile devices, right?
Yes.
Maybe the best part I want to share is the interface you get on mobile is actually the same interface you
That's
get on
correct.
desktop.
Yes.
Right, so you're not going to get an interrupted experience, right? That's the mobile friendliness about Lark. And handle the work processes from end to end using Lark. You share about the native capability of Lark, right? Which actually takes on the bulk of our productive time, which is your ability to chat with internally with your suppliers, with your customers, with your externals, the ability to share documents, work on the collaborative documents, and also the calendaring where half the time we need to check where our resourcing is, right?
true.
But end-to-end work processes includes the low-code, no-code development platform where you can build workflows around it. So yes, to the user, yes, we can actually handle work processes from end to end, and we have our professional services team to actually help when it gets a lot more complex. If not, your own developing team can actually do this as well.
Brilliant.
Okay, is there any more questions?
I think that's all the questions we have.
All right. Okay, so I think that's all we have for our Q&A and for our webinar today. Thank you for your time.